Welcome back to the channel, and today I have a 300-mile review of the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3. Now this is the last generation race shoe. They just came out with version 4, and they also have the Fast R Nitro Elite 3, and those two shoes now comprise of Puma's top tier racing shoes on the market. But this shoe is still an awesome shoe, although it is hard to find sometimes. But we'll get into today how this shoe has held up over 300 miles. Over 300 miles on this shoe, and it's still bouncy, lively, protective, and look at this, just incredible durability. First, before we get into the actual review of how this shoe has held up over the miles, I have a newer pair, this Black Beauty, the 24/7 Represent colorway. So these two pairs have been kind of giving me a baseline to compare against. Okay, what does a new pair feel like? What does the old pair feel like? Kind of a quality of life update and to see how this shoe holds up. First of all, this upper is a lot more broken in, as you can imagine. It starts out kind of in that traditional Puma fit. See how the black one is a little bit more narrow in the midfoot area and even up towards the toe box. But this has just broken in nicely and it has opened up. I would not say that it's for wide foot runners, like a true wide foot runner. But if you have a normal width foot or maybe slightly wider than normal foot, and you feel like maybe this one at this mileage that you have a newer pair and it's just a little bit snug and you wish it was a little bit more opened up, that it does open up over time, and this shoe fits very nicely and it is very accommodating in the midfoot and in the forefoot. The durability of the upper is great. There's no holes, there's no spots that are thinned out, and it's not coming off the glue anywhere. This heel cup, there's no holes in it. It's just a really well made upper. It's the Ultra Weave upper from Puma. You can see right there it says Ultra. This upper is a fantastic upper. It's very breathable, durable, and it does conform to the foot well. One area to report is these are original laces, but I replaced the laces on this one with the Alphafly, the fake Alphafly laces that you can get on Amazon. Just holds the foot so nicely in place. I just buy it for race shoes now and shoes where I'm really going fast and I want that lockdown. I don't want to worry about the laces coming undone. So no problem with the laces, but I prefer to have the upgraded laces. So that's just one thing that I've done to personally upgrade the shoe a little bit. Okay, so the upper, it fits nicely and it opens up. It's breathable, it's durable, it's all those wonderful things. So let's talk about the outsole. This outsole, for being 300 miles, looks brand new. I mean, the exposed midsole foam is exactly what you would hope to see in a running shoe. I have shoes like the Vaporfly 4 that I love that shoe, and I'll do a review of it soon, but the exposed midsole is already chewed up in like 30 miles. So not as durable. The rubber has more wear than even this model does. Here's the other one. Look at that. Besides a little bit of lateral wear right here on the rubber, this rubber is in mint condition. The midsole foam on the sidewall, on the side, has very minimal creasing. This midsole foam looks like maybe what 100 miles would look like on another shoe. It's just a really well built, really solid construction. This shoe is built to last the miles. Those parts could go 500, 600 miles with the rubber in the upper, no problem. But you're not here for that, right? You want to know how the ride feels and how it's changed and how the foam is holding up, right? Exactly. Been doing long runs. speed workout, can do track workouts with this shoe, and it's fantastic. Before I really get into the foam, I want to show you something. Look how stiff this plate is. I can't really flex it very much at all. But look at this. It snaps back, but there's some flexion in this plate. What does that mean? It means that this shoe is now a lot more pace versatile than this shoe. I'm a 200-pound plus, 4-hour plus marathoner, and I'm taking this shoe out for a marathon. It'll be 4+ hours. My PR is 4 hours and 20 minutes. I'm hoping to do at least PR that race in March, but this is stiff. The plate is pretty stiff, but it's not ultra aggressive on the geometry. The foam is firm, but there is a little bit of a squish. So you can kind of sink a little bit, but the aliphatic TPU foam, it really springs you forward, and it's so bouncy, so resilient. But on this one, being more compliant, not as rigid, it's partially because this foam has softened up. So the aliphatic TPU, this foam, here, I'm trying to make sure I get it right. It's just, I don't know if you can really tell. It's just enough to where now this shoe is borderline soft. Starts out, people say this shoe is a little bit too firm, it's a little bit too narrow, and it's maybe a little bit too aggressive for heavier runners, newer runners, and runners that are going like beyond 4 hours on the marathon. This is probably like what people would say is a 3:30 marathoner and faster race day shoe. A little bit too aggressive for a 4-hour marathoner and beyond. But I'm telling you right now, the way this plate flexes and how the foam has just softened up just a touch, maybe 10% softer than when you get it brand new, and how the upper has opened up and is more accommodating. This shoe is like an up-tempo daily trainer or a super trainer now. So maybe I wouldn't race in it because of the mileage and just how things have changed a little bit. But on some level, with this great Puma grip that's not just durable, it has that world-class traction and grip. This right here is extremely pace versatile. I could take this shoe on any kind of a run besides maybe a recovery run or the easiest of runs and feel like this shoe would be a great shoe to pull for. Now, how will this shoe be used going forward? You can't find this shoe. It's hard to find. The 4th version is out now. Go get that one. But if you have this shoe or you can find it and you're just not sure about it because of some of the things I mentioned on this shoe, then I can give you a reassurance as a heavier 200-pound marathoner that runs like 4-hour plus marathons. This shoe has become one of my favorite shoes and is why I keep revisiting this one. Black is my favorite colorway. If you know me by now, you know I want all my shoes to be black. If I could, I have like 9 running shoes that are black. To summarize, this shoe is a streamlined racing shoe that's top tier and I believe is underrated. Puma is finally getting their due with the Fast R3 and a lot of people's favorite race day shoe of 2025, and even going into this year, 2026, it is still people's favorite running shoe for races. And the 4 is getting its just due in the hype cycle. But I just want to revisit this and say, this shoe holds up. 300 miles, I don't even think it's halfway through its life cycle. I imagine getting 500 miles plus out of this shoe, and for a race shoe, right? Now, if we're talking the Mega Blast, if we're talking about the Nimbus, or if we are talking about some other category of shoe that is built to go the distance, you might not be very impressed. I mean, it's still impressive, but when you say a race day shoe goes 500 miles, and it's definitely certified 300 plus, that is as high of a praise as you can give a race day shoe, because they're making them now and they're saying this is only going to last for a marathon. Well, that's not the kind of race shoe that I want to buy. For the everyday runner, for you, for me, for people that don't have tons of disposable income, that want a race shoe that can do it all, long runs, speed work, and race day, this shoe can do it all. And I don't drink alcohol, but if I can use a metaphor in this scenario that holds true, this shoe ages like fine wine. This shoe is great as a race day shoe, and it can do a lot of other things, but on some level, I almost like it better when it's beyond 100 plus miles, because it opens up a little bit. It's a little bit softer on the durometer. I like soft shoes, but I want them to be punchy. And I'll make one quick comparison to a different shoe. If you were a fan of the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3, I loved that shoe. I ran Richmond Marathon in it in 2024. This shoe right here is a classic. It's goated. But if you wanted a shoe that can be the successor to this shoe and you haven't found it yet, because the Saucony Pro 4 and 5 are hot garbage, this is the one. So yeah, it's hard to find, but I highly recommend, if you can find it, get it. If you can't find it, then I would recommend to you to get version 4, which I do want to get eventually. That is the 300-mile review of the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3. Go and pick it up. It's a banger. And I'm excited to report back to you after I race a marathon in it. And I'm going to keep getting miles in this shoe. So if I put 400, 500 miles, I might come back and make another video. But I wanted to come to you today and tell you just how awesome this shoe is after 300 plus miles. As always, run hard, train smart, and stay on the daily grind.